Welcome everyone to my channel Economics Club UG2PG. Today I am going to discuss about one important topic of microeconomics, though it is for the beginners, that is production possibility frontier, or we can say it is PPF, or it has so many other names. It is also called production possibility curve or PPC. It is also termed as transformation curve, and so on. So the concept of PPF or PPC, it is same, and transformation curve, so these are the different names. Now students, before going to discuss about its definition, so we have to know what is PPC or how it is coming. So for that, let me assume one hypothetical example. Let us suppose in an economy there is some resources. Now what are the resources? That is not particularly defined, but here for your understanding I am assuming that suppose in the economy there are 100 laborer. So this is the resources. Now with this resource, let producer, he is producing two commodity. One is good X and another one is good Y. Now these two commodities, the producer, now you see what actually happen in practical life. Each and every producer, they try to produce at optimal level, means the maximum amount of two goods producer, they actually try to produce using the resource at optimal level. Means producer, they always want that I should use the resources in such a way so that there are no wastage of resources. So if I assume that, let there are few combinations. Suppose first combination is A. Let, if producer use this 100 worker or laborer in industry Y or for production of good Y, then producer can produce, let us suppose 20 units of good Y. And as he is using total resources in good Y, so no resources in good X are used, so production of good X will be 0 unit. Okay, so let, this is one combination, means using this 100 laborer, producer can produce 0 unit of good Y, good X, and 20 unit of good Y. So this is let one combination, that is A. Now let there is another combination which is B. Let us suppose that producer, he wants to produce 1 unit more of good X. Then what he has to do? He has to transfer few laborers from Y to X. So if he transfer few laborers, then let its production is increasing and its production become 1 unit. And obviously here the number of worker will fall. So here production of good Y will fall. Let it is 18 unit. So this is another combination B. So we are assuming that producer can produce either the combination A or B by using same resources. Let us take another few combinations. Suppose see another combination. If producer again transfer few worker from Y to X, let its production become 2 unit and production of good Y, it will fall. Suppose it is 14 unit. Now students, here you can think that I am increasing the production of good X by 1 unit, and here production of Y, it is decreasing, but here one calculation I am following. So later I am discussing in details that what type of calculation I am following. Just for your understanding, now you remember that as the production of good Y will increase by 1 unit, production of good Y, it will fall, but every time the rate of fall, it will increase. The rate of fall will increase. See here, production of good Y has decreases by 2 unit. Here production of Y has decreases by 4 unit, like that. So let another combination D. Suppose again producer, he is transferring some workers from Y to X. So its production become 3 unit, its production become suppose 8 unit. Okay. So here production of good Y has decreases by 6 unit, and let there is last combination, that is E. So let producer is transferring all the workers from Y to X. So production of X become 4 unit and production of Y become 0 unit. So here Y production has decreases by 8 unit. So for your understanding, I have assumed that as resources are fixed, so producer can't produce both the good in more quantity. Producer can't produce both the good in more quantity because resources is fixed. If producer wants to produce both the good at more quantity, then he has to increase the resource. But if I assume that resource is fixed, then whenever production of one commodity it will increase, obviously the production of another commodity it must decrease. Okay. Okay. Now this concept, if I plot in a graph, let us take here, I am taking one diagram where along the horizontal axis let me measure here good X, and along the vertical axis let we are measuring good Y. Okay. Now if you plot these 5 combination, here I have taken only 5 combination. It could be possible that using the resource producer can produce more than 5 combination, but that I am not taking here. So let first combination A means 0 unit of good X and 20 unit of good Y. Let it is denoted by this point. Suppose it is point A. Again B combination, suppose 1 unit of good X and 18 unit of good Y. Let's suppose this is another combination B. Then similarly, suppose this one is another combination C. Then this one is D, and last one is, suppose this is E. So these are the 5 combinations where the production of one good is increasing and the production of another commodity it is decreasing. Now students, if you join these combination points, then one curve you are getting, and this curve is called PPC or production possibility curve, or PPF means production possibility frontier. Okay. Now you see, what does this curve imply? What does this curve imply? You see, this curve actually implies that a producer can produce within, means at any point within this area, at any point producer can produce using these resources. Okay, means it is the capacity of the producer. This area, it implies the capacity of the producer. Okay. Now you see, if I tell that if the producer produce at any point on the PPC, then what will happen? Producer can produce that. Means if I take the point B, means producer is producing this much amount of good X and this much amount of good Y he is producing, and for that the 100 worker or the laborer are getting utilized. Means all the resources are getting utilized. Means there is, means this point, it will always represent the full employment of resources, because if producer produce at any point on the PPC, then all that point will imply the full employment of resource, because here all the resources it will get utilized. Okay, for example, if I tell a factory, it has the production capacity per month of 1000 unit of goods. Okay, now if it produce 1000 unit of goods, then obviously it can produce that because it has the capacity of production of 1000 unit. So in that case, what will happen? All the resources of the producer, it will get utilized. So that 1000 unit, it will always indicate here on the graph, means any point on the PPC, But if I tell that if the producer get the order of production of 800 unit of the product, then also producer can produce this because its production capacity is 1000 units. So if it get the order of 800 unit, then also producer can produce that. But here what will happen? All the resources, it will not get utilized. Means suppose producer, let me tell you that if I tell that any point which is inside of the PPC, then what will happen? So let it is 800 unit of the product producer has to produce. So it is within the capacity of the producer, means producer can produce this, but here this 100 laborer will not get utilized. Let here 70 workers are employed, so remaining 30 workers, they will remain unemployed. Means any point which is inside of the PPC, producer can produce that. So it is within the production capacity of the producer, but here all resources will not get utilized. Means any point which is inside of the PPC, it denote unemployment, or we can say underemployment of resources. Either unemployment of resources, or we can say it is unemployment of resources. Got it? So if we assume that there is 100 laborer, a producer he has, so if he use the total laborer, means all the resources if he use, then producer will always produce on any point which is on the PPC, at any point which is on the PPC, means here all resources will get utilized and it is called optimal utilization of resources or optimum utilization of resources, means total resource will get utilized. But if the producer produce at any point which is inside of the PPC, here total resource will not get utilized. Okay, now here you may think that what points which is outside of the PPC this imply, means this point. Okay, means if I say this point, suppose this point indicate this much amount of good X and this much amount of good Y. Now can you tell that the producer, can he produce this combination, means this point? Obviously not. Obviously not, because this point, it is outside of the PPC, means it is beyond the production capacity of the producer. Okay, so what will happen? This point is called, it is called or it is termed as unattainable set, okay, or unattainable commodity bundle. So we can say it is unattainable. So in my example already I have told you, suppose a company or a factory, it has production capacity of 1000 units of product per month. Now if the company, if they get order to produce 1200 units of the product, so obviously that order that producer can't take, because its maximum capacity is 1000 unit. Its maximum capacity is 1000 unit. So extra 200 unit it can't produce. So that is unattainable. So it is called unattainable. Got it? So we got that this type of a curve, it is called PPC. Now why I am telling this type of, because already I have not defined the definition. Okay, so the definition, how we can say? The definition we can say like this. You see, PPC, it is the combination of those commodity bundles or the two goods that a producer can produce using its resource at maximum level, means without wastage. Means if a producer use its resources at optimum level or at the maximum level, then whatever the combination of the goods that producer may obtain, if we join those combination, then whatever the curve or the locus means what? Locus means if there are some points and if you join those points by a curve, then that curve is called locus. So we can define in this way that PPC is the locus of the combination of two goods which a producer can produce using resources optimally and given technology. And given technology, here in case of production, you have to remember technology, it has one important factor, because if technology changes, then production, or I can say the amount of output, it will change. So the definition, how I can write, let me write here. Okay, so definition we may get like this. production possibility curve is the locus of combinations of two goods that a producer can produce using its resources optimally and given the state of technology So this one is the definition of PPC. Means we can say that PPC, it is the locus, means this curve of combination of two goods. See, these are called combinations. This is one combination, this is another. So here 5 combinations I have taken. Means these are called the combinations. So combinations of two goods that a producer can produce using its resources. Means resource here, it could be anything. It could be money, it could be any kind of natural resources, it could be number of workers or whatever. So here that's why I am telling about the resources. So resources optimally and given the state of technology. Okay, so this is PPC. I think now the concept is clear. The concept of PPC is clear. Now you here another thing you should note. If I take, means as here I have taken 5 combination, that's why our PPC, it came like this. It came like, means if we measure commodity X along the horizontal axis and commodity Y along the vertical axis, our PPC we have got like this. Okay, so it is combination B, C, D, E. Actually this kind of a PPC is called saucer shape PPC. This kind of PPC, it is called saucer shape, like a saucer shape, what we get now. So that type of PPC. But instead of taking the 5 combination, if I tell that using 100 laborers, producer can produce infinite number of combinations, means A, B, C, D, E, F, like that, there are infinite number or n number of combination. If the producer can produce, then all these kink points, means these are called kink points. So all these kink points will come closer. This will come closer. Okay, and ultimately we will get a smooth shape of PPC. Means this one is the PPC. So this one will be a smooth curve. Means number of combination of two goods, instead of taking 5 combination, if I take there are infinite number of combinations, then PPC will be a smooth curve. So in this way we can get the PPC. I think the concept of PPC little bit it is clear. Now in next video I will explain about its properties, assumptions in details. I will explain. Okay, thank you everyone.